Hello everybody, how are you going? Welcome to an RMR, Rick Mercer report that covers all the weird and wacky of Canada, and this one is Rick at Canada's Wonderland. Now, I've never been to Wonderland. I didn't exactly know what it is, but I can certainly see a snippet of it, and I'm excited.
The city of Toronto has so much to offer tourists, which is why when families visit, one of the first things they do is leave and drive 20 minutes up the highway to Vaughan, home to Canada's Wonderland, a must-stop for thrill seekers since 1981. Today, I join the staff at the park and go backstage and upside down and fast all at once.
Even just, well, that certainly sums it up, but even just that first one that we're seeing at the start here looks like a hell of a roller coaster, and that's something that I must admit Australia doesn't do too well. We have the Gold Coast and a couple of other little ones that provide theme parks to some degree, but really they just don't ever compare or seem to ever compare to anything that anyone seems to have overseas. I've never seen a roller coaster like that. I've never seen anything to that scale. I'm not even really sure if we have a true loop-de-loop. I think there are a couple that have come out recently, but realistically it has been so far behind for so long that really this is called Wonderland, and I think ours would just be called Land. To be fair though, for some people they might actually enjoy it because, well, the fact that you have a zone called the Scream Zone isn't the most enticing thing. If it wasn't at a theme park, you'd go, no, I don't think I'm going to the shopping center and going to the Scream Zone, thanks. That sounds like a place that I just want to avoid at all costs. But regardless, I'm certainly interested to see what he discovers behind the scenes, so to say, because I know for a fact that some of these theme parks, they're all shiny and glamoury up front, but they are some interesting places behind the scenes.
And this is James Farrington. Hello, James. How are you?
Good, Rick.
Good to see you, sir. Okay, it's early morning. First job is we have to inspect the Leviathan, correct?
Yes, sir.
So, James, how many steps to the top of the Leviathan?
Well over 400.
Okay, well, the camera adds 10 pounds, but the walk to the top takes 10 off. All righty.
Okay.
Come on, to the top. James is out of the gates like a racehorse.
Wow, just a belt. I would have thought it'd be a full harness. Look at that.
Because I was concentrating on just getting up here. I didn't really look down past my feet. We are really up here, aren't we? How high are we?
306 feet.
I was going to ask, and I wanted to know and had to know how high they are, but they're 100 meters-ish up, about 6 meters up it probably would be about. And I'm also just wanting to see, because we have a hell of a view here, some of the other roller coasters that are here. So there's I don't know if it's wood or old school, but there's a smaller one that we're seeing, a dropper, even just the red one in the background, a go-kart track, and that certainly wasn't it. When they panned around before, they showed us, I guess, what we first saw, the big yellow one, and that looks even higher. I don't know if it is or not, but my goodness, these structures are huge. And like I said, I do not believe that anywhere in Australia would have anything close to anything that high. At most, I don't know, maybe the Superman at Movie World. That's the only one that I'm thinking would be the biggest or one of the biggest, but again, I can basically confirm the fact that we don't have anything this big. To be fair, it does have some alright specs about it, you know, going from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 2 seconds. Fair play, there aren't too many things in this planet that can do that kind of thing. I'm sure there are plenty of roller coasters, but overall, not too many things that you would ever be able to experience that at. G-force 4.2, but height is only 40 meters, and so it is, like I said, just a much more scaled down version of some of these massive overseas rides.
How high are we?
306 feet.
What are we inspecting, other than the spectacular view and the traffic on the 400?
Well, what we have to do is we have to make sure our weather station's working.
You shut this down if it gets too windy.
Yes, sir. We have an oiler back here that oils the tops of the rockets.
Can I go look over the edge? Tony Clement, that's far. Look at that drop.
My
That's straight down.
goodness.
I like it up here, but mostly I just don't want to go down.
That's crazy of a drop. I'm not too sure how impressed some of the safety personnel would have been on this shoot, let alone the entire park, with him doing things like that. Just, oh, whoops, I slipped down 300 feet, or I guess 290 feet because he's taken a few steps, let alone if he were getting close to the other side here. That is an insane drop. And I guess I should probably also just search up the Leviathan if this is going to be a ride in question. But really, the fact that they walked all the way up there pretty much just to inspect the weather systems, I mean, it makes sense because there's not much that they're going to be able to do without out, I mean, they can find something that may be a problem, but they're not going to suddenly whip up a magical fix. And so as long as the weather system is working, they can make the shot and go, okay, go for it. Send the rides on their way. It's only 80 kilometers an hour. I'm very, very surprised that it only took them wearing a waist belt and not, let's say, full body harness, but even just maybe a leg harness, a leg loops included harness, not just a belt. Because, I mean, yeah, the belt's going to stop you from, I guess, going onto the track, and then on one side you've got the handrail, but it's not going to do mounds in the scheme of things if you actually took a fall. It's going to either rip your armpits off or you're going to go straight through it.
Okay, we're on the ground, and James, correct me if I'm wrong, before the park takes civilians on the roller coaster, we have to go on first.
We've got to make the test ride.
So we're the crash test dummies.
Wow.
And my feet, look, don't touch the ground. That does not give you confidence.
How
There we
big
go.
is
Okay,
this
let's
ride?
do it.
There we go. I didn't think I'd prefer to take the stairs. And we're cruising at an altitude of 356. We'll ask you to put on your seatbelts because we're going to experience some mild turbulence.
Oh no. What? Show me the other one whose face looking at. That's what I would have expected. My goodness. That guy. Look at it. It's actually quite long. It's not even just a single drop. Wow. It starts off with a single one, but then it continues. My goodness, look how long this thing is. Wow. Oh, they're putting the brakes on? My goodness.
I think I have spinal fluid in my eyeballs. Hug your loved ones.
No.
Tell your child you love them.
Of course. I mean, if that's the kind of experience that you were having on that, but you survived it, it's not the worst thing. If you know what you were getting in for and you know what you kind of want, but also don't want at the same time, then it's seemingly very much so delivered. I do want to know the fact, what's his name? I completely forgot already, but the guy with the park must have ridden that roller coaster so many times. If it truly is every day, some of the employees, if not him, has to go and ride these roller coasters. You're doing it once a day for maybe 10, 15 years. That's a serious account of the roller coaster that no wonder he can just go along and put his hands up in the air having a great time. Because I feel as though if to be working in a park like this or anywhere in the world like this, you have to be loving it to some degree. You have to go, I know what I'm getting myself into, and I'm a big kid at heart, so to say. Rick, on the other hand, as much as he definitely would have known what he was getting himself into, and especially considering the fact he never thought he would say he would rather take the stairs. I guess the stairs, you know, you're going to end and then go back down. With this, you know, you're going over the other side. And my goodness, what an other side that is. Your stomach, and I guess like you said, your spinal fluid ending up in your eyeballs would just be a common occurrence. And then it's not even like it stops right then and there. It's not like you get one big drop or maybe goes backwards and does a bit of a loop. No, it goes hill after hill after hill. That really, like I said, there is nowhere in Australia that I would think compares to this. At most, I think we would take sections of these big rides. We might have a big drop or one big loop-de-loop or anything like that, but not one after another after another. You have the Lev, not the full Leviathan.
You're the Prime Minister. That's the Sierra Club. That's the World Wildlife Fund. That's David Suzuki. They pop their heads up. You just whack them down, okay? They mention the environment. You just whack them down, okay? They mention the water. Hey, 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 hey. Whack, 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 whack. You have a future in the Prime Minister's office. Congratulations. There you go. There you go. Everyone's a winner. I tell you.
Absolutely
Oh, boy. When I'm running things, there'll be a chicken in every pot. There'll be a car in every garage. There'll be a plush toy on every child's bed. Step right up and play the...
He is just going to make this poor theme park go into administration if he keeps giving out soft toys like that. I mean, I know that they have containers full of minions, I'm sure. But still, look at him just handing them out like it's nobody's business. Everyone's just standing there wanting one. And that's because Rick's just such a lovable character. Like I said, everyone knows him as well. And everyone certainly wants one, that's for sure. And I do also want to know, when did this come out? 10 years ago? 18th of October 2012. So even if we just said 2012 this came out, I'm not sure who the Prime Minister was in 2012. 2012. However, I don't believe it was Justin. I think it's the one before him, which Rick has talked about before, and he certainly didn't hold back this time, saying, well, anything involved in a whole multitude of factors that I'm not particularly partisan to, so to say, or I don't know much about, but I can certainly understand what he is talking about there. And honestly, I think in 2012, it was probably a pretty similar position that Australia was in.
Step right up and play the greatest game in the universe. It's called... What's it called? High Striker. Step right up. You, sir, right there.
It's almost like he's an employee.
Good attempt. All righty, okay. Okay, step right up. There you go.
Give him the world record.
Fantastic. You won the prize. Look what you get.
Oh, surely. Is there a sensitivity or something on that? Because I heard it say fantastic, and I swear it didn't say that or play that for any of the other poor guys that came up and gave them the best effort. By the same metric, I am a little bit disappointed because I don't know exactly where this is, but by the same metric, in Canada, surely the lumberjacks can just come and smash this kind of thing. Splitting wood, that's just a day off.
You won the prize. Look what you get.
And also, that is a hell of a pterodactyl. My goodness, that's a prize.
What do you like about the amusement park?
The food. I really like the food.
A hot dog, fries, pizza, any ice cream?
Yeah, we had ice cream. Yeah. And sugar!
Is that a whole tube of sugar?
Yeah.
That's like 60 teaspoons of sugar in there. And it's orange sugar, too.
Yeah.
That's the vitamin C there.
Hot dogs, pizza, and I'm gonna eat a funnel cake later.
Okay. Are you going to eat a full funnel cake?
A little bit higher. Higher.
These are diet funnel cakes. We don't want too much in there. That's my first funnel cake right there.
What is that?
We're good.
I don't know if I should give a child this because there's that much icing sugar on there. You could slip in a coma. I don't want that. Would you like ice cream on that? Beautiful.
What is that?
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness. Look at his face. Look at all these people. Everyone is loving that. And I don't think I've ever actually seen a funnel cake. I think I've heard it. I just plucked a memory out as soon as it came up, but I've never actually seen a funnel cake. And I also want to go back to how it was actually made. And maybe it's like pancake battery stuff. That's what I'm guessing it is based on the consistency and how they're doing it. That then gets deep fried into a single cake, I guess you would obviously call it, but I've never seen such a thing. But it makes so much sense because it's nice and airy and fluffy to some degree, but then you can still load that thing up. It's almost like a Canadian waffle, or I don't know where it originated, but that's just what I'm going to be saying because this thing can be stacked so high between everything on that and that boy's face, or those two guys' face, between the apple and the raspberries and the cream, let alone the other girls with their sugar pipe. My goodness, there is a lot of sugar at theme parks, but I don't think I've ever seen this much sugar at theme parks. Rick has gone absolutely overboard to put a smile on people's faces, which he's very, very good at. But my goodness, he also might not last because, like I said, I don't think I can give that to a child. It might send them into a coma.
Hello.
Hi!
What's your name?
Annika!
Annika?
Yeah.
Annika, why are you so shy? You're not shy, are you? Did you go on the Leviathan?
Yes.
How was it?
Fun.
It's pretty good, isn't it? I was very scared. Do you think it would be better to go on the Leviathan alone or with a group of civilians?
Group of civilians, you can laugh at them.
Yeah? So do you think I should go again?
Ruthless. I don't know if that's exactly what's going to be happening. I don't think that you can laugh, or Rick will be laughing at anyone. Based on his previous experience, I think they may be laughing at him, especially because it was 4 wide. Have you even just thought about that? I don't think I've ever been on a roller coaster that's 4 wide, let alone however many deep. That's a lot of weight that thing is throwing around and propelling around a massive course. My goodness, well done to the engineers on all of these rides. That's always a very, very impressive part. However, as shy as this poor girl was, the thing that it did make me wonder about is what are the height restrictions on the Leviathan? Because I never would have thought that anyone, especially given the fact that Rick's legs couldn't touch the ground, obviously hers aren't going to be touching the ground, and she's a lot shorter, and they're still allowed on the ride. So what is the kind of height restrictions? Are height restrictions just basically not a thing? Maybe it's an age thing in North America overall? I have no idea, but I know that there are plenty of rides that so many kids her age and below, and even older if they're a little bit shorter, aren't ever able to go on, and they would love to. And especially Leviathan, go for it, but they just can't because they're too short, and it's such a disappointing thing for so many people. And this just seems like it's not a big deal. So if anyone has any stories about particular rides that they weren't allowed to go on, or probably shouldn't have been allowed to go on, given the fact that the bar maybe wasn't as tight as they probably wanted, anything like that, I would love to know. Where are these rides for a whole multitude of reasons? Imagine if you had to
I'm Linda Woodhead, and I'm having a milestone birthday here at the park.
This is your birthday. What is your birthday? Do you mind me asking?
60.
60. Have you been on this before?
Oh, no, I'm excited.
Hang on, I have a heart condition and I'm pregnant. Should I be on this?
Oh no. Those kids are gonna love
This is what we gotta do. I'm up.
it. No. No, not this 60-year-old. Oh my goodness. That's insane. Fair play. Look at her. They're all loving it. My goodness. This ride, it just seems so fast. The fact that I don't see any tears there is an impressive feat. And I just want to come back to, there was a particular frame that I want to look for, and it was, yeah, basically look at that. The girl on the left there is both absolutely mortified and loving it at the same time, let alone everyone else on the ride, which is just a whole range of emotions. Some people are loving it, some people are absolutely bricking it. There are so many different things, and I think they're all valid emotions to be feeling. The one that I was most surprised about, though, the fact that there was, I mean, I bet those two kids in the front have been on it before, but the birthday girl was absolutely loving it. And I mean, I guess that makes sense in a way. I don't think people would be doing that for their milestone birthday if they weren't that way inclined, but still, well done to everyone on board. And I mean, Rick wasn't exactly laughing at anyone, and I don't think he ever would, but everyone just really seemingly enjoyed that entire experience, and they should. Look at this roller coaster. Like I said, I'm just amazed by the kind of drop. We see it up on the right there. There is so much going on in this entire thing that it just makes sense for everyone to be loving it. Like I said, in Australia, you just do not get this kind of stuff. And so maybe between Europe, I think, has some decent ones, but I think everyone always talks about the States has the biggest rides. Yes, it may have the biggest lines, and I don't think, like I said, that Rick would have been lining up, and so it's a bit of a different experience. Maybe you just have to be super mega famous and just be able to cut the line every single time to have the truest or the most fun experience. But really, it's all part of the experience of theme parks. And if anyone has any recommended theme parks, whether it be Wonderland, whether it be in the US, whether it be in the UK, whatever it may be, even if it's Luna Park, for goodness sake. I mean, I've been to Luna Park, but I'll go there again. For goodness sake, everyone should love these theme parks because they're just so well designed. They just tap into such a raw emotion for people, but they do it so well.